Last Monday, I put together, well, I've been working on it for months, a proposal for a Missouri State Chess and Scholastic Center. And so what I did, how I envisioned it is perhaps we could get our local elected officials, namely Crystal Quaid and Betsy Fogel, involved. So I sent them a copy of the proposal, given which is now the Springfield Chess Club and the Missouri State Chess Club, merging those two together, having a dedicated spot near the Missouri State University, to me makes sense, so we can run the Scholastic program. We could also have outreach programs as they do at the St. Louis Scholastic and Chess Center, incorporating at-risk kids to meet with police officers or maybe firefighters around the game of chess is one idea. Of course, the Boy Scout Merit Badge program has a thing. This would be a place for those people to meet. We wouldn't, if you had a dedicated spot run by either university advisors or a hired staff, however they would do it.
And even for like the MSU club, we have to make sure we get those rooms reserved. And it's not always easy to schedule a tournament. And it's really awkward for people who aren't familiar with MSU to come over there to play. I mean, parking's a pain in the neck. So yeah, to have a dedicated place where they can easily come and go, I think would really start increasing not just student turnout, but the community coming in as well.
Chess tournaments, instruction for community members involving not only the university students, but high school, elementary kids, or seniors who want to learn the game. So you'd have this spot where people could come in and do that.
And I think that would help me for my club. I mean, I sponsor my club, but I don't really help the kids with chess strategy very much. I know the very basics. I can teach them the basics of the game. I can show them how to set up a board and what the basic pieces do. But, any type of real strategy to become a better player, I'm no help to them there. So I would love to have something like that to take my kids to, so that they could, improve and get a little better. It's hard to find a teacher who feels comfortable, like if you don't know a lot about football, you probably don't want to be the football coach. And if you don't know a lot about basketball, you don't want to be the basketball coach. So I think people can be scared to try to take on sponsoring a chess club if they don't know a lot about chess. So having a place like, the center there where you could say, hey, you know what? I don't know much about chess, but why don't you join this club and we'll go to the chess center at Missouri State where you can learn the game of chess. Right. We just need an adult who's willing to bring the kids around.
So I think having a center could really bring a lot of those clubs, a lot of those organizations together, promote competition from within and amongst the groups and the districts. But it could also, in the long run, positively impact MSU.
I already love MSU. As a counselor at Weller Elementary, we actually partnered with MSU to send our fifth graders there the last 4 years to go and see what a college campus was like. And MSU is gracious enough to recognize we're a Title I school and that these kids, they need to see that there is this future out there that they might not consider. And they've allowed us to be a part of that for free. I know every school is trying to be as competitive as they can to draw in students. And if there's a chess center at MSU's campus, students that want to challenge themselves in that intellectual way will be challenged to go there, to meet other students, to find a social environment that they can mesh with. And if they've been growing up going there, I see a ton of perks for MSU and other campuses that include this, where students that have grown up in a town, they make an attachment to that college, and then they want to stay there whenever they graduate.
And then you could market that we are here, and use the university marketing students is how I sort of envision it, to give them practicum and promoting the club. So, hey, we're here, come use the facility, which I think meets the university's goal, which is public affairs mission, which is outreach to community, and using chess as a tool to do that.
I think it would be best to have a separate building, because where it is now, it's the student union. And as I mentioned before, it's really difficult for a lot of people who aren't familiar with MSU to get to. They have to pay for parking, they get a ticket. So somewhere close to campus, but anybody can get into. People who have responsible people with keys, of course. And yeah, maybe it could be a resident GM or even IM who could, be there certain days of the week or something else for lessons or just to play people, that kind of stuff.
There's just all these possibilities that would benefit the community at large, not just Springfield, but all the surrounding towns, even as far away as Joplin, because they have an active chess club. And of course, there's the Missouri Chess Association, which Adam, you're a board member on, I believe, and Martin Stahl, who runs the Joplin program. Missouri Chess Association runs tournaments. They could also then use the facility and promote the game of chess and promote the university all at the same time. In 72, there was a number of Missouri State or Southwest Missouri State University faculty members and members of who used to work for the local newspaper. I think it was the Springfield Leader back in the day, got together because of the Fisher craze, because he was going on to play for the World Championship against Spassky. Decided they wanted to build start a club, and finding a location for where that club could meet was a challenge. And my understanding was initially they met at the YMCA and called it the YMCA Chess Club. And then somewhere, who knows when or how it happened, the park board, somebody might have been friends with somebody, and Dan Kenny was running the program and gave some facilities spots for the Springfield Chess Club, which I guess, and then they adopted the name Springfield Park Board Chess Club because they met at I guess whatever that Fast Night Park. They played there. They played at Jenny Lynn's. They played at the Watkins Center up north, and then somewhere in the 80s ended up where they're now at the Southside Senior Center, which wasn't the Southside Senior Center then. It was just a little cinder block building that I think the Highway Patrol Department used, or the Sheriff Department used, or the MoDOT used. It was some facility like that, and it was now not being used, and so they let the chess club meet there for a good 20-some years. The senior center got built, and then somehow or other, we use the term grandfathered, but it was just understood that we would still be able to use the facility. And so we still are, but that's just it. We can only use it essentially on Friday evenings, and that's not guaranteed. And occasionally we have to get on the schedule and ask permission to be able to use it if we want to run a tournament or something there. So it just makes it difficult.
The MSU Club actually started way back in the 1980s, late 80s. I don't really remember the year because I wasn't around there. And I remember the first time I went to the MSU Chess Club, it was Mustafa Farid. He was the president back then. He was sitting in the room, no chess boards, no chess pieces. And I asked, I was like, "Is this the chess club?" He's like, "Yeah, you got a set." So that was the start of it back in fall 2006. We applied for some money from SOFAC for some student funding for this organization, and that's when we bought all of our sets and boards that we have now. And ever since then, we just kind of tried to host these regular events. Back when you could actually eat in public, we would have once a month, essentially pizza parties, free pizza. You come and play chess. That really started to help kind of boost up our numbers. But Mustafa kept it going for a long time. I mean, he was the one that got the organization registered with the university. But then we had John Kincaid and Katie Sparks. They've helped grow the club, make it more friendly, and give us really a lot of good ideas too to grow the club. Yeah, it's really come a long way from where Mustafa was sitting in the room with no chess pieces or no chess board.
The St. Louis Chess Club is pleased to announce the expansion of our world-class chess facility. The 20,000 square foot expansion and upgraded facility will feature new ground-level classrooms supporting players of all ages, as well as expanded tournament and community gathering spaces with state-of-the-art technology. Accessibility upgrades, including a new 3-story elevator, will provide access for all participants and allow even greater community engagement in the great game of chess. As a proud resident of the Central West End neighborhood for over a decade, our hope is to build upon our investment into the community and solidify St. Louis as America's chess capital and preeminent global destination for lovers of the sport. We look forward to seeing you in our new space in 2021, when we will host the 2021 U.S. Chess Championships, 2021 U.S. Juniors and Senior Championships, the Springfield Cup, St. Louis Rapid and Blitz, and more.
Boards are flying off the shelves, and online play is just absolutely skyrocketed. I mean, the numbers are there. You just could Google it 1 or 2 times, and you can say we're not making those numbers up. That's what's actually happening out there. So I just think it's time. I mean, it's coming up on 50 years of Missouri. The Springfield Chess Club's been around, and when I was going to Southwest Missouri State at the time, I played at their chess club. So that chess club's been around forever as well, and they're doing a good job over there. It's just that they have problems scheduling too. They can only meet at the Plaster Student Center on a Monday night, and then they got to bring their boards and set them all up and tear everything down, and you got to schedule it with the Plaster Student Union, and it's just a hassle to try to provide chess to the community.
Yeah, we work closely with Joplin, with Martin Stahl, though. But we host, our facility hosts 2 big tournaments. One in usually in the spring, one in the fall. And I mean, we average anywhere from 25. We've gotten upward, I think 30 has been their max last couple of years. But regular turnout. I think we kind of built on that because we hosted the class tournament, the Missouri class tournament in 2019 or 2018. I can't remember. But anyway, we had 75 people turn out, which I talked. You heard the MCA board talking. They were really surprised at how much chess enthusiasm there was here in Southwest Missouri. So I think our regular tournaments have kind of helped that just a little bit. There's gonna be social benefits as well, because I know in the last 4 or 5 years in the MSU Chess Club, we've had a few key people, and it's really started to blossom out where they've become really good friends beyond just chess. So it can connect a lot of different people from different backgrounds, be one thing. And I think it helps focus a little bit as well. So in a school setting, of course, if you can learn to focus and concentrate on the task at hand, that's going to be better, produce better students in the long run. And for me, it's just a fun pastime. So, because they were playing, they're having a good time, not getting in trouble doing other stuff. So yeah, it's just a win-win-win situation, in my opinion.
I sponsor the chess club at Fair Grove School District. We run a chess club for grades 5 through 12, which includes our middle school and high school students. We meet once a week, and we compete in the Southwest Missouri Chess League.
This is my 2nd year at Ozark Middle School, and I came from Branson, where I spent 9 years down there as an assistant principal as well. While I was at Branson, we had a thriving, functioning chess club in our 4th, 5th, and 6th grade building, Buchanan Intermediate. Between the 3 grade levels, we would average 40 to 50 kids who would come out and play chess one night a week, and it had been thriving for at least the last 7 years before I left. Been here at Ozark Middle School for 2 years, and we have a functioning, thriving program here at the middle school as well. Currently have about 40 to 50 on our mailing roster.
Be able to run a program for an outreach to the local schools and the Scholastic programs. And, with Adam Whitaker, came up with the Scholastic Chess League. So you've had tournaments at Drury. You've had them at various, like Weller Elementary. I think before COVID hit, we were going to probably have a tournament at York. We wanted Glendale to get involved, but there was a logistics problem there, and the sponsor of the Glendale program, our school, was like, he didn't necessarily want to particularly do that. And then I know we used a park board facility up north, U Center, so we used that for these tournaments, and it's just haphazard. And then trying to get to, like even Fair Grove brings a bus down, and getting Weller, and you got to get all these kids organized in a bus and then take them to different locations. And then you have the logistics of getting the boards and the clocks and everything set up. And it just becomes a hassle in some sense to try to run a Scholastic program, because you don't know where you're going to have all the tournaments and what dates, because you got to schedule it with this school or that school. And so it becomes a nightmare.
My name is Ben McVicker, and I'm a school counselor in the Springfield School District. I was a school counselor over at an elementary called Weller Elementary, and I have ran the chess club with a co-coach over there for the last 4 years. And we had to limit it actually at 25 students that we would have every Tuesday, stay after school to do a chess club. It was a ton of fun. We would have snacks that were provided by the school as part of being a club, and the kids would stay, they would eat, and we'd give them chess challenges. Community Partnership of the Ozarks is what paid for us to be able to get clocks and have T-shirts for our kids and to get our first chess sets.
And also, chess is a great game for strengthening critical thinking skills. It's obviously it's a tricky strategic game. It's definitely not based on luck. There's a lot of strategy, a lot of thinking ahead. So as a math teacher, I say anytime you strengthen your use your critical thinking skills, it's kind of like doing weightlifting for your brain.
We'd watch videos, learn a new skill, and then they'd go out and they would challenge each other. And the other coach and I would go around, we would check in on them, we'd facilitate their learning. And now I've moved on from the Weller Elementary, and I'm now actually the school counselor over at the Phelps Gifted program, which also has a chess club. In a regular year, when we have 950 gifted students that are being served in Springfield, there's over 200 kids that are at the Phelps Center that are a part of their chess club that plays there. It's pretty cool. We're trying to do a virtual chess club there right now, trying to see and gauge interest. We've definitely had some kids reach out to us and say, hey, we still want to be playing chess. And I know of other coaches that we've gotten to play. We got to go over to Pipkin Elementary and Middle School. We played a tournament there my first year being at Weller. And I know there's a Boys and Girls Club here in town that also hosted chess club.
Chess has been a great program. The chess clubs have been a great program at both my buildings, and super excited to support Chess Center.
That's, I think, the greatest benefit of chess club. It just gives more kids another place where they can do something besides just going to school. They can compete in an activity and feel included in something.
The other reason to have such a place like that, it's a recruiting tool for the university, because you bring in good people who play chess are generally good students, and that's how Webster, St. Louis U, MSU is also using it, because they have now international masters and grandmasters coming to their campus on scholarship. Not saying that Missouri State needs to develop a scholarship program, but eventually that could be the case, and you would have a Missouri State team, which they have now. They just haven't competed in any collegiate tournaments, which they are all over the country. Mizzou is now competing in one with their A and B teams.
So the MSU Club does offer have a chess scholarship available for students, undergraduate students. They have to have at least a 2.0 GPA. They also have to be members of the United States Chess Federation and, of course, members of the Missouri Chess Association. And their preference is going to be given to rated players of 1,600 USCF or higher. So we want some people who at least kind of know what's going on with regard to that. Okay. So in the first year, as I mentioned, there's going to be just one scholarship available. In each subsequent year, there's going to be an additional scholarship added until we max out at 4. So there'll be 4 total scholarships available starting in 2022. I guess would be the year. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, that was one of the ideas, was to hopefully have a chess team that actually travels to different locations or plays online, wherever the format's going to be. But yeah, hopefully those 4 people will be the ones that are going to compete and represent MSU.
But also, the support that it could draw for MSU as a whole would be, down the road, longevity speaking, when you look at having kids making a connection to your campus, establishing some familiarity, I think that really could potentially boom enrollment down the road as kids grow for a fondness for MSU and some of the things that it can offer them, especially having a thriving chess program at MSU as well.
There always seems like there's somebody who's willing to, dump a little bit of money into some of these things. I mean, if we just find some small spot, to rent out, whether it's Rex Sinfield's money or somebody else's, we just got to kind of rattle enough cages, I guess, so to speak.
So I think there are a lot of benefits to having a chess center. I know there's a lot of programs in the area, and many of them are meeting in libraries or cafeterias, or some of them even have to meet outside of their districts and their buildings at restaurants and coffee houses and things like that. To be able to have a central location or a regular spot that kids can go and meet up with other students from other districts and to be able to compete against other kids, I think would be a tremendous benefit to our community. It would give kids a regular destination spot.
Anyway, that's how I envision it, that the students at Missouri State would probably run it, or you could use their marketing department, their hospitality department, where, as I wrote in the proposal for this, you could maybe run it as kind of a chess coffee house, and then the proceeds from the selling of the coffee and learning how to run a restaurant with chess. That's just another funding stream for it. So it ends up not really costing the university anything other than the space and providing utilities. Of course, there's always insurance issues and liability issues, but those already exist now in the university. So it's just a good way, I think, to make an outreach to the community through chess. Crystal Quaid, of course, Missouri State is in her district, and I mailed the proposal to the president, Cliff Smart, as well as the foundation director for Missouri State. And of course, there's all kinds of funding sources. Whether or not particular people are interested in funding it, I don't know, but they would need to be involved as an alumni of Missouri State and a member at large of the Springfield Chess Club. I don't have any sort of clout to go ask for money, but the university does, the foundation does, these legislators do, and then the community partnership for the Ozarks. My hope is that all 4 or 5 of these entities would get together and sit down and have a focus group, discuss whether or not this idea is even feasible, and if so, how would we proceed in doing so. But getting their input and about how we would go about doing that, I think is the next step in this process. And so we just need that help from an organized, legitimate entities like Missouri State University and the Community Partnership of the Ozarks and the Springfield school system. All those, and then our legislatures, if they all sort of got together, put their heads together, I think they could make this happen.